What's up, guys? John here, the CEO of BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world.
BlackRock CEO Larry Fink.
Larry Fink. BlackRock's Larry Fink.
Larry Fink of BlackRock.
BlackRock is a financial giant, the largest investor on planet Earth with over $9 trillion in assets. Here's CEO Larry Fink.
Just made a statement, and we should all pay very, very close attention to it. It's getting tens of millions of views on every social media platform. Instagram, X, on Twitter, on TikTok. What he's saying is that the countries that have the most rapidly declining populations are going to be the ones that are going to flourish the most. And he's predicting that we are going to start to see some pretty big population declines. Now, I was recently in Japan, and when I was there a couple weeks ago, I saw very few children, very few. The average person was probably 45 to 55 years old. And, I could see a big decline coming for Japan.
Japan will disappear if something doesn't change.
Population decline affects many countries, but few more than Japan.
But I think I'm going to see one, and you as well, see one unlike anything we've ever experienced here in America in the coming couple decades. And the reason for this, and I'm going to get into this in a second, it's going to surprise you. Look at this.
I could argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
Shrinking populations are going to be the big winners, right? And someone commented here, and I thought it was kind of funny. They're starting to say the quiet part now, right? And 30,000, 20,000 views on that, right? But look at what he goes on to say. I'm not going to play the entire video.
In substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations.
Now, what's unfolding here in America is going to shock you. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content, educate the people about what's going on in the U.S. economy and the world's economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I believe is going to be, without doubt, the greatest wealth transfer in American history, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for Monday. Take a look at this. So, in Greece, Croatia, Portugal, Bulgaria, Estonia, South Korea, Italy, Hungary, Ukraine, Japan, and Taiwan, they all have declining populations. And now America is seeing a declining population. The general fertility rate in the United States decreased by 3% from 2022, reaching a historic low. This marks the second consecutive year of decline, following a brief 1% increase from 2020 to 2021. From 2014 to 2020, the rate consistently decreased by 2% a year. Now, what I would say is I think we're going to see a much faster pace of this decline over the coming couple of years. Because if you look at what's unfolded, let's just call it from 2020 to now, there's been more division than we've ever before seen. Everybody is divided, at least it seems like, on almost every issue. Politically, I mean, everything. Right? Everyone's distracted, everyone's divided, and everyone's looking for short-term gratification. At least that's what it shows on social media, right? And so when you are in a society like this, if people can't commit to watching a movie for 2 hours, how can someone commit to another person for 40 or 50 years, right? So you're going to start seeing a lot more detachment from those relationships, especially as we start to walk into a world where, metaverse and things like that become more normal. And I think that's going to be in the next couple of years. So we're going to start to see more and more of a decline here in America. Now, when you start to look at what's unfolded in the trades, it's pretty shocking. I'm talking carpenters, plumbers, electricians, framers, roofers. The average age of people in trades right now is about 40 to 42 years old. So look at this. The average age of a construction worker, 42 years old. The average age of a plumber, 41 years old. The average age of an electrician, they said 41.4 years old for men and 40.5 for female. Then they said carpenters, 37 years old is 40 years old, and for female, 37. And then carpet and tile, you're looking somewhere between 40 and 42 years old, right? Now, when people work until they're 55 or 60 years old, what does this mean? In the course of the next decade or so, a lot of these people are going to get pushed out of these fields. And so if a lot of people are pushed out of these fields, how many people nowadays are going to trade school? Not that many, right? So what we're going to start to see here is a wave of massive disruption across all industries. And I think what we're going to start to see is this conversation around America has a massive housing shortage to maybe we are oversupplied. Maybe by quite a bit. Look at Japan; they have millions of vacant homes. Now, what McKinsey, J.P. Morgan Chase, and a lot of other dominant outlets are coming out saying is that we're going to see a massive windfall in job loss in the next couple of years. Look at this. So, for example, how will AI affect jobs from now, basically for the next 5.5 years? Like 5.5 years, this is a blink of an eye. It's a blink of an eye because the craziness that has unfolded the last 4 years, I mean, time's flying so fast. I don't know if it's just me, but we're almost halfway through 2024, right? And it felt like, it was 2 days ago where we were starting the year. So 5.5 years, what they're saying is you would have been living under a rock if you did not know how AI is set to affect jobs over the next 5.5 years. AI, like ChatGPT, seem to be stealing all the headlines at the moment. Google unveiled new AI software that will build presentations, analyze, enter data, write content, and there's so many more AI tools like Gamma and numerous AI. Those that are resisting, riding the crest of the wave will not be making hay while the sun shines when it comes to landing in-demand jobs in the next 6 years and enjoying job growth. Now, what they said here is this: AI could replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs. Now, when I read this, what that means to me is the only way in which that's going to get funded is going to be increased taxes and more money printing. And so if you have a society where the population is going to be gradually, declining, and the world's going to get more expensive, and people are more separated, it's going to mean that consumers are going to be sitting in more and more debt. Their financial position is going to get worse for most, and their living standards will continue to deteriorate. And large corporations, large entities, and investors that are positioned accordingly are going to be able to go out there and invest and try to grow market share, while the rest are basically just struggling to try to get by. A report by investment bank Goldman Sachs says it could replace a quarter of work tasks in the U.S. and Europe, but may also be new jobs and a productivity boom. Now, if you look at Project Bora Bora with Citigroup, they're laying off 20,000. They already laid off 20,000 workers, and they're moving everything into AI. All those fields that they can move into AI. IBM, they had laid off 7,000 workers moving into AI, right? Now, they say it could be a productivity boom. Now, Chamath Palihapitiya, one of the first employees at Facebook, what he said was that there's going to be people inside of like refrigeration, for example. Sure, they're going to make money in refrigeration, but the real winner in refrigeration wasn't that company. It was all the companies that were selling all of the products with that already built in. And the same thing is going to be true, in his opinion, with AI, is that there's going to be a lot of advancements in AI and a lot of advancements that are going to be coming, and companies that are able to integrate these advancements into their own process will be the ones that are going to really reap the benefits of it. And when they say new jobs will be created, if these new roles are going to be able to make these present companies more profitable or create new industries. And I believe that we're going to see a lot of people that are 25, 30, 35, 40 have probably an easier time shifting than, let's say, somebody that's 65 that's trying to learn about AI. Like, for example, my dad is very, very intelligent when it comes to almost everything. But when it comes to learning about phones and technology, it's a struggle because it wasn't in his day and age, right? And it would be the same as vice versa. If I were his age and I was trying to learn about social media, it'll be foreign to me, right? The same thing I think is going to be true with AI. It says, and it could eventually increase the total annual value of goods and services produced globally by 7%. The report also predicts 2/3 of jobs in the U.S. and Europe are exposed to some degree of automation. 2/3. Some degree of automation. Around a quarter of all jobs could be performed by AI entirely. And they'd be performed a hell of a lot less than $100,000 a year, which is unfortunately what a lot of people need to make just to be able to live in a city in America now. Researchers from the University of Pennsylvania and OpenAI found some educated white-collar workers earning up to $80,000 a year are the most likely to be affected by workforce automation. Forbes says that according to an MIT and Boston University report, AI will replace as many as 2 million manufacturing jobs by next year. A study by the McKinsey Global Institute report found that by 2030, at least 14% of employees globally would need to change their careers due to digitization, robotics, and AI advancement. You look at what's unfolding in California right now, increasing the price of the minimum wage, increasing the prices of food, everything is getting more and more expensive, forcing businesses to move into automation, right? They're forcing businesses to move into automation. And I think we're going to continue to see that as you know, and also companies are going to want to do this because they're going to be able to undercut small business owners, right? If you're, selling a cheeseburger for $7, a small business owner, and there's a corporation that can automate the entire process and not pay for the labor costs and deliver that same burger, even lower quality, for $3, who's going to win that game? And it's going to be the fast food company every single time, right? That's what's going to happen. And then once the small business owner starts to falter, then they're going to start jacking up prices more and more and more and more. And they say what jobs are going to be likely to be automated? Customer service, receptionists, accountants, bookkeepers. It's going to be interesting. But when Larry Fink, the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world, comes out saying that what we're going to start to see is companies with a rapidly declining population will be the ones that are going to be growing, what do you think about that? Do you think we're going to see, is it going to be just a slow and gradual decline of population, 1%, 2%, 3% a year? Do you think there's potentially could be something big where, that number is going to greatly be a multiple of that number? Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for funding, maybe to invest in distressed real estate, or you have some type of goal, make sure your credit score is in line with your goals if you intend to get any type of funding. So if you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any issue at all on your credit report, go to greatcreditfast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free call for Monday, and I'll catch you next video.